Hello again. I am so glad to have you. I hope that today's information will be of some benefit to you and get things up and running and feeling more positive for you. Today's focus is on endorphins. So, as you know, we've looked at some of the other happy hormones. Um, Serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine is what we've covered so far. And today we're just going to touch on endorphins. Again, another one of the happy hormones. And this one is really concerned with giving us energy. But just like the others before, our brain is informed by whatever it is that we're thinking or doing. So that's where we want to look at what habits that we can put into place or start to develop that will help us actually send signals to our brain to produce these hormones. Because unfortunately, they don't just exactly do it automatically without having received the message first that the happy hormones are needed. So what happy habits do we need to have in place for that signal to get across? Because if we are sending the signal to our brain to produce endorphins, then the benefit to us is that we have improved self-esteem. And endorphins are a natural painkiller. I remember my PE teacher telling me that if I had period cramps, which was my excuse not to do PE, that running about and exercise would help. And I used to think she's only saying that to make me do it. She's lying. That's not true. But actually, it turned out it is true. So endorphins are a natural painkiller. They help us to feel calm, and endorphins give us more energy. So the more you're doing, the more active you are, then the more energy you get because your brain is being told, give me endorphins, and endorphins actually give us more energy. And then it also helps to reduce stress and any impacts of stress. So all of the happy hormones actually help to improve your immune system. And part of the reason why is because all of them together, each one helps to reduce stress as well as the impacts of stress. And because what we're looking for is energy from endorphins, which is kind of the main factor, then the way to do that is to exercise, which I know we all love to hear, isn't it? Um, but actually, it takes 6 minutes of exercise for your brain to say, oh, I'm supposed to produce endorphins here. So let's be realistic. We might not have time to factor in a full hour every day or half hour even. But again, thinking of dopamine and setting realistic goals for motivation too. Can you do 6 minutes? I know all of us are saying, I can nearly hear it in my own head. No, I'm flat out. I don't have a minute to blink, never mind, or a second to blink, never mind do 6 minutes exercise. But if we set that goal for 6 minutes exercise and we did get to achieve that, because our brain then produces endorphins, we have more energy and it's far easier to have good feelings, good emotions whenever you have them chemicals produced. And then obviously then if you're feeling better, it makes it easier to have positive thoughts too. And the more that we do, the more that we think to ourselves, oh God, isn't that great? I got such and such a thing done. Isn't that important? Fair play to me. So what can you do in 6 minutes, especially if it's exercise? Well, I try to fit on a wee 5 or 10 minute walk where I can. Like especially when I was working from home. I know we're not really doing that now. But say I didn't have a half hour lunch break, but I had a 20-minute sort of gap, I would go out for 10 minutes with the dogs, out around the park, straight back in again. And again, it's just enough to get endorphins going. Or try to look at wee simple things like um walking up and down your stairs. If you're going up and down with the washing, sure, you're getting your endorphins. You're going up and down them stairs, carrying a pile of clothes, but it's movement. It doesn't have to be mad exercise. 6 minutes is all it takes. So it's practical things. It could also be like I bought a wee trampoline, a wee individual person's trampoline for £30. I have it years and years now. 10 minutes on that is the equivalent to half hour running, apparently. But from my point of view, it's fun. I actually enjoy doing it. You ever talk about like engaging with your inner child again, which we're going to get on to today a wee bit. But it's just something that's really simple and it's not too time consuming and it doesn't feel hard to do. Like don't get me wrong, it's not easy to bounce. But 10 minutes is more manageable than saying I'm away for a half hour run here. Or skipping. Whatever you enjoy. I do a wee bit of skipping every now and then when the kettle's boiling, although that doesn't take 6 minutes, but just includes movement in my day. But I would say take it back to what you enjoy. So like I enjoy Zumba and for a long time I had no interest in the gym. But then there are times when I really, really benefit from the feeling of progress and strength when you do gym based things. So it just depends on where you're at right now. And I would always just say, don't force yourself into something that you hate. Don't force yourself into something you think you should be doing. Take it really small and really simple and see what you like doing. What do you enjoy? Because see if it doesn't feel like wild hard work, it's far easier to do and you're more likely to stick to it. Like I got roller skates and I play with a wee and she goes in her scooter because she can't balance the roller skates. I go on my skates, win a minute, I'm beat after it, but it's fun. So it's just practical, small things. And again, make it about you and what you feel like doing. And that's what's going to help us to keep this going. But we'll do a wee activity at the end of today. When I mentioned your inner child there, we're going to do a wee activity about laughter. But first I want to focus on them thoughts again because obviously each one impacts the other. So choose what actions you're going to do and keep them simple, keep them easy, keep them manageable. And we'll also look just briefly at thoughts today. Now, it's thought that the law of the body is that after we experience anything that can be called a trigger, which is just something happening, that we have a thought about it. And that thought is one that we believe, and it comes from a place of protection, a part of our brain that's to do with survival. It's trying to protect us always. It's not always rational, but we believe it anyway. And then that causes us to feel the way that we feel. How we feel now is because of what we thought, not necessarily because of what just happened. And then depending on how we feel will correlate then with how we act, what we do now because of how we feel, or how we behave following it. So what's come up for me recently in going back to taking my Zumba classes as a Zumba instructor is that people have been telling me, oh, my friend said they go, or oh, somebody I know's going, or you're starting in our community, and I just don't have the energy. So this is what people say to me at times when they've seen that it's coming up, they've thought about going, and then they convince themselves, no, I haven't the energy for that. So they don't go. So how it would go in this step is that they're invited, they think I haven't the energy, they believe their own thought, and that leaves them feeling quite disheartened and unmotivated. And then the response to that, or the action to that, is that they would avoid it and they'd be unwilling. They even try, maybe. Some people don't even come once because they so strongly believe their thoughts about whether or not they have enough energy to do it. And I have a wide range of women of all different fitness levels who come, and all different ages, from I think the youngest is 17, and I'm pretty sure one lady told me she was 70, if not close to it. So there's a wide variety and age range there too. So it doesn't mean that it's true that you don't have the energy, because everybody who's there has just the energy that they have, and there's no actual required energy you need to be able to do it. But if you believe yourself that there is, then it doesn't matter when I say, you have, surely, don't be worrying, don't be comparing yourself to anything. If you believe yourself that there's a certain level of fitness and the energy you need to attend, then you don't tend to believe me when I say, no, come on ahead. So then you avoid it, which is fair enough. But it's only fair enough if you don't actually want to go. If you feel like you're missing out because of this thought that you have, if you feel that if part of you says, I would love to go, but, which is usually what I hear from people, I would love to go, but I haven't the energy, or I haven't the energy, although I think I would love it. Right. So that's when then we want to look at changing that thought, because it's the thought that you believe that's impacting the fact that you're not going. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, then we want to rethink it. So we take the thought on its own. Yes, we have a lot of thoughts all in one go, but we want to take one at a time, identify what it is, and then we could ask a ream of questions to ourselves in opposition to this thought, looking for an answer that determines whether this thought is true or not, or if there's another way to think about this. So I don't have the energy. What is the positive intention behind it is where I love to begin, because thoughts come from a place of protection. What is the positive intention? What is that thought trying to get for me by believing this? But is it helpful? Once I've established what the thought is trying to achieve, then I want to consider, but is it helpful in getting me that outcome? What else is possible? Even things that aren't obvious. So what else is possible? I haven't the energy. What else is possible? Is it possible that you don't need the energy you think you need? What things am I not considering right now? And have I been wrong about things like this before? So that might be, maybe you've been to the gym before, you thought something similar, but you learned that you built up your energy, or you could go at your own pace. What advice would I give a friend who was in this situation? I would be saying to my friends, if you want to go because you want to enjoy yourself and have a social aspect and just get a level of fitness, then how much energy you do or don't have doesn't actually matter if those are the things you want. So think about that. What's actually important to you right now? Is my thought a fact? You'll believe that you don't have the energy, but it's not a fact that you can't do it. What do I have control of? I have control of whether or not I go. And as focusing on the negatives helping me, well, it's not helping you to focus on what energy you do or don't have if you actually want to get there. And then is it the truth? Well, I would argue in this scenario it's not the truth. But if you believe that it is, then you want to challenge, so what can I do? So you can dance about in your sitting room, you can do it online, I have it online, do it at home and see how you feel. Or what's the worst case scenario? What is it that this thought's protecting you from, and how likely is it that that worst case scenario will take place and happen here? So I'm only going to narrow it down to a couple of answers, because we don't need all of these for every single thought, but it's just important to recognize that every individual person's thought will be challenged and changed by different answers to each question. So it depends on your circumstance and it depends on your thought which one of these questions will give you an appropriate answer that challenges this thought in the way that is helpful for you. So what I went with today is that the positive intention behind thinking I don't have the energy is that you don't actually want to go and feel embarrassed or like people are judging you if you can't do it as well as you believe you need to. But is this thought helping me? It's stopping me from going if it's something that I actually want to do. So now that I recognize that this thought isn't serving me well, because if it's serving you well and you think that it's true and protecting you perfectly, then you've no need to feel the need to challenge it. If it's not serving you well because you actually want to take part, then you might want to look at, what am I not considering right now? And it's just, as we've chatted about there, that doing it perfectly isn't actually the goal. Maybe you just like dancing. That's what most people come for. And maybe you know of so many other people who go and they say the same thing. I wish I could have evidence of the things that people tell me about going and what they thought before they came and how they feel when they're there, because it's how you feel when you're there and what your own personal goal is that's important. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to go GMD going to Zumba, but if this is applying to you in any aspect or any area of things that you would like to try, and you believe your thoughts and your thoughts are holding you back from doing it, then take the principle and apply it to what's going on for you. Because our thoughts, yes, are doing great to protect us and doing the best for us all the time, even when it doesn't seem like it. But they are thoughts, they are not actual facts, and what we believe isn't necessarily always the truth. So how is your thought keeping you small, and can you step into fear? Because when we get out of our comfort zones, that is when we feel successful, and that is when we achieve personal growth, and that's when things happen. That's where the stuff is at. That is where the best part is when we step out into fear, and through experience then we build resilience to try new things, because we learn that we're capable of more than we believed initially. So anyway, something you're not considering is why you want to go. Why do you want to go to Zumba in the first place? Do you want to be fit? Do you want to chat to people? Do you want to have a wee bit of carry on? Do you love dancing? Something I always say to people is, if you love going on a night out and dancing, it's not the drink doing it to you, it's because you love it yourself. So honour yourself, honour you and the reasons that you want to do it. And hopefully you can find a way to make them outweigh the protective thoughts that are preventing you from doing it. So if you're willing to engage in a wee childlike, playful activity here, then I'm going to encourage you to stand up, because I'm standing now, and we're going to do a wee laughter exercise, because as I'm sure you've heard before, laughter is the best exercise, or best exercise, it's the best medicine. And any wonder, because it gives us endorphins, as well as improves our immune system, reduces stress, it relieves pain, gives us better sleep, it gives us better social connections, deeper relationships. It's a great experience, a great bonding experience to share laughter with someone. So you might choose to do this with yourself, because again, everything that we do with ourselves is benefiting us, making us more able and willing to benefit other people too. Or you can choose to do it with someone. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to do some laughter exercises. So the laughter exercises involve clapping our hands parallel, so like we did as children, so that we activate acupressure points in our brain, or in our hands, that send signals to our brain to produce happy hormones. And we're going to simulate laughter by using laughter sounds, because our brain can't actually tell the difference in whether we're genuinely laughing or not. It just takes the signal of the muscles being used and the sounds that we'll make, and says, right, I need to make these happy hormones for here. So in the same way that we said before, if you are worrying about a situation and imagine it in your brain can't tell if that's happening or not. It just takes what you think about and produces stress hormones. It does that with laughter too. It can't tell if you're really laughing or not. If you're using the same muscles and the sounds that we are going to make, it knows to produce happy hormones. So we're standing, we're comfortable. In between each exercise, we're going to do a deep breath. So we'll practice our deep breath coming in through the nose, hands on your belly. Fill your tummy up with as much air as you can, creating a big Buddha belly. And through the nose, and slowly in laughter, we release it with a ha. We'll do 3 each between each exercise. A deep breath under the belly, and out through the mouth. One more big deep breath in, and so let's get on their first laughter exercise, and I'll just adjust my camera slightly. What I'm going to begin with, it's important to say that we are going to say the words while doing the actions at the same time, because this is a form of movement. It only takes a few minutes to get us saying endorphins, but again, it's saying the sounds with the movement that helps to engage this more significant production of the endorphin happy hormone. So hands together, and we're going for our first laughter exercise, which is giggle, giggle, slap the thighs, ho, ho. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho. We're going to keep repeating it. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho. And then we're going to get faster. Ho, ho. Giggle, giggle, 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 ho, ho. And a big deep breath in. And out with a another big deep breath in. And out with a one more big deep breath in. And out with a very good. Now, if you're choosing to do this alongside someone, try your best to keep eye contact with each other while you practice the exercise. So laughter exercise number 2 is again clapping our hands for giggle, giggle. But this time we clap the sides of our thighs for giggle, giggle, ha, ha. So that again is giggle, giggle, ha, ha. Join in when you're ready. Giggle, giggle, ha, ha. Giggle, giggle, ha, ha. Giggle, giggle, ha, ha. Giggle, giggle, ha, ha. And faster. Ha, ha. Giggle, giggle, 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 ha, ha. And a big deep breath in. And out. And a big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Very good. Now let's go for exercise 1 and 2 together. So giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha. That's what we're going for. So join in when you're ready. Remember, we want to try and get movement on with it. So if you want to start adding a wee bounce, and we're going for giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha. 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 And a big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Another big deep breath in. And out with a ha. One more big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Very good. Now step 3 of our challenge is giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha. And then we're going for giggle, ho, giggle, ha. So we'll show you that one again, and then join me when you're ready for step 3 on its own. Giggle, ho, giggle, ha. We want our movement going. Giggle, ho, giggle, ha. 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 Big deep breath in. And out with a ha. And another big deep breath in. And out with a ha. And another big deep breath in. Filling that bit of belly and out with a ha. Okay, if that was easy enough, then let's challenge it and make it a wee bit harder. We're going to try and do all 3 of them steps together now. So I hope you're not too competitive. Let's see how we go. Remember, you don't have to do it right. We're just getting the laughs. So, giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha. Giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, ha, giggle, ha. I thought about it too much. Big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Another big deep breath in. Pull them tummies right up. And out with a ha. And another big deep breath in. And out with a ha. Okay. Now we have a 4th step. Now, step 4 looks like this. Giggle, giggle, ho, ha. No, let me double check. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha. Yes, that's right. Giggle, giggle, ho. So, right. So here's step 4 just on its own. giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Okay? Remember, we want to try and keep the words, but it's fine to laugh and giggle away. So step 4, giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. Giggle, giggle, hoo ha. And a big deep breath in. And there with a ha. And another big deep breath in. And it was a ha. And one more big deep breath in. And it was a ha. Alrighty, last challenge. We're going to try and do all 4 together. So we're moving. We're going to go for giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha. Alright, join me when you're ready. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha. Giggle, giggle, ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle. Ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle. Giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha, giggle, giggle. Ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha. Can you go faster? Ho, ho, giggle, giggle, ha, ha, giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha, giggle, giggle, ho. Giggle, ho, giggle, ha, giggle, giggle, ho, ha. Okay, let's just have a big deep breath in. There was a ha. Okay, another big deep breath in. And there was a ha. Okay, let's do another big deep breath, and you can close down your eyes and silently let that one go. And another big deep breath in and silently out. Just take a wee moment to notice your feet firmly planted on the ground. You may wish to wiggle your toes. Notice how your body feels, what's your body temperature, how does your tummy feel, is there any tingling in your hands, how do your cheeks feel, was that sore on them, was that good exercise? Are you ready for your day with joy and gratitude? I hope you take it with you. And thank you for joining in that experience. I do encourage you to take as much laughter with you into your day and into your life as you can. Take inspiration from children. They laugh 300 to 400 times a day, and as adults, the more stress and the more anxiety we experience with responsibility and daily life, then the less we laugh, and it turns into something like 15 times a day of laughter, something like that. And it's not usually belly laughter, that wholehearted feeling of laughter. When's the last time you laughed from your tummy? I want you to recall it and to invite that feeling into every day. Have that aim to bring more joy and more laughter into everything you do. And remember to smile and smile and smile. Thank you for your time, and do experience that with other people and loved ones too. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much and take care.